Morning, guys. The final game of the round ended up with a Cowboys win. Very excited about that. There was some free-flowing attack, that's for sure, with I think over 43 points or something like that in the first half, and ended up with a few more obviously in the second, and it kind of dried up for the Dolphins side, but they ended up with a few good tries to kick things off, and Cowboys attack looking slick, which is lovely, with Drinkwater not really being involved in the actual finishing plays, but was very much involved across the game, which we'll get into in a sec, guys. And if you haven't gone through the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night reviews, please go through them, even if it is just to find certain players that you do end up having a question on, because that's something we do see each and every year. I put out these reviews, and then someone pops in the comments and goes, what do you think of this guy? And I literally spent like 2 or 3 minutes talking about him in that video. So just if you want to go back and check, guys, I do go from the first score, the highest score of the game, all the way through until the lowest, going through the most relevant guys. So please go back into those and do that before you jump into the comments. It allows me a little more time to spend on either creating the videos or replying to the ones that telling me how they went or whatever that is. If I've already spoken about it, please jump in and see those each and every week, which is super exciting. And then we get into round results today, and then team list, and we go flying from there. So thanks for that. And Val Holmes up top. I suppose the big thing with the Cows and what I said in the preseason with them is that if they come out and their defense is really good, then they're going to have a good season. Look, their defense was pretty soft in that first half. It got better in the second, obviously, but the other thing to note is how hard they run the footy. Their missed tackle numbers, which weren't very high, to be honest with you, apart from a couple of plays in the second half. And the ones that scored those tries, I think they scrambled really well, which was a good sign for the Cows going forward, and obviously now end up being first on the ladder, just in front of, I think, the Dragons, who end up with a 24 differential, 25 for the Cows there. But Val Holmes, the way he runs the footy is absolutely incredible. He had 180 meters in there, 3 offloads, 3 tackle breaks, but just the way, especially like him, Talangi, a few of these guys there, they get the ball flat and they have a head of steam up already before they get the ball, and then they're running into the line really hard, and the momentum that carries that creates for this team and for Drinkwater and the boys, like Dearden was really, really good, for example, there is absolutely awesome. It's exactly what they need, and is going to be what pushes them ahead of some other teams, because they most of the other teams don't have those types of players that can do that. Obviously, they are Origin stars, and so it makes sense why they can have that little next level in them. And Holmes is one of those guys, and I spoke about him in the preseason being a top tier guy, that probably the only top tier guy that I would start with. Thought Gags was just that, that extra 100k is a bit tough because you want that to spend elsewhere, where Holmes is a little bit cheaper, a 637, that if the Cowboys actually started well with it this year, he was really consistent last year, and he can come out and dominate, and he absolutely did. He didn't even score a try and picked up a 67 with a try, assist, 7 goals, and all the other base stats that I was talking about. So very impressive from Val. On the other side, guys, Zack Laybutt, I was all in on him in Supercoach, and I was cheering hard at the TV when he scored that first try. How good's the little flick dummy? Very impressive. So worked his ring off too. Like 14 runs, I think it was, in the end for 175 meters, which was really good. Just sort of, always in there, getting that second or third carry out of trouble. But try assist and 2 tries. The penalty try was a bit dubious, but him or the Nye should have both just dived on it and left it. So I think one of them should have scored anyway. But after that, it should have just been a penalty, I think. Like, he was well past the ball before he got pushed. So for anyone who did start with him in fantasy, you'll absolutely take the 59 and the extra 8 points it was. So it's not crazy, but he would have got 51. Defensive stats looked okay as well. Like on there, he had a nice cover tackle where it could have been a try for him. And really solid overall, and has taken that leap. You could definitely see that. He's one of those guys I spoke about in the 5 things I learned video, guys. So jump in and check that out as well. A new feature to my weekly videos and my 1 fantasy tip for the week. So a short and sharp one at the end of the week, just to sort of get us thinking about the games of footy more than fantasy. A little bit in there, but obviously, and the fantasy tip as well. But Laybutt 59, congrats to him and anyone who did decide to pick him up at 0.8%. I thought, he was 460 in Supercoach, and it being a bit more of an attacking game, that's why I picked him. 509 in fantasy. He was priced very well, close to where he scored last year in those limited games. So that was the reason to avoid him in fantasy, but an awesome game. He's not going to get 2 tries, 2 line breaks, and a try assist each and every week. It'll be back down. Even if it is, like if it's a nothing game, he's going to be somewhere in the 30 mark, I'd imagine. So still underneath where he's priced. Jeremiah, so a much better game for him. I think work rate was good, 120 meters, 23 tackles. Obviously, tackles is something in this game, guys, that you need to take with a grain of salt. The guys in the middle, that play 80, so Robson, are going to make good tackles just because they play 80 in the middle. But other guys, when you're having sort of split minutes, and there could be times where, very much like that first game with Totola, that you're going to be waiting behind the sticks and not tackling. That's something to note with the tackle numbers as well. So yeah, Jeremiah with 23, it is low-ish, but not too low for him and his standards normally. But he looked great, so 58 for him. Anyone who grabbed him, there'll be a few. Yep, 5%. Congrats to you. Flegler, this is awesome. We've got 2 accounts, two ways to look at this. So the try, a very simple, very easy try. Big congrats to him. In that one, did really, really well. The reason why we were looking to avoid him, obviously the round 3 buy, not ideal, but the fact that being priced at 513, he needs to go sort of well into the 40s, right? So 44, 45, 46, somewhere there to make some decent money. And without that try, he's going to be about that 40 mark, right? So you got a couple of tackle breaks, get the 12 points from that. There's 16. So let's just say he's a 40 in 54 minutes type of guy. Obviously, the base stats could be up a little bit, especially those run meters, I'd say, if they had the ball a little bit more. So maybe you could get him into the 40s just in the base. But that is the something to think about. But again, he is this type of player that I think will get those crash plays and get those tries. Like they scored, Flegler scored 1 and Josh Kerr scored 1. So they are this type of team, especially off Jeremy Marshall-King's hand, that does like to go short in and around the ruck. And similar to that with the Warriors, that they like to go short to AFB and these types of players as well. So Flegler could be that guy for your side if you've decided to pick him up, and a great pickup it was in round 1. Very well done. Congrats. 8.3%, but be aware that, yeah, he'd probably be closer to that 40 mark. And I suppose if he can score a try every sort of 4 or 5 games, 6 games, whatever it is, and then get 40s in the other, that would be about that 44 or 45. So good stuff on that one. Josh Kerr as well, 40 minutes. Congrats to him with the try. Robson, 52, guys. So, okay, they did end up giving him the turnover tackle. Good stuff. But end up with a penalty and inside 10, 2 missed tackles as well. So, yeah, he had that early turnover tackle. They didn't give him all at the start. They ended up giving Luki's one at the end of the game. I think maybe because it was extremely obvious. I'm not sure. But then, no one else had a turnover tackle. So I'm glad they fixed that up. But still 52 for Robson. Better than that of Smith. Better than that of Grant. Better than Jeremy Marshall-King. So if you pick Robson in round 1, you do a great job. Try assist in there. Not going to happen weekly. So you probably want some of these stats to go up. But I suppose this is probably where we expect him to be. Without that, he's a mid-40s guy, likely. Because he ran the footy still. Like he had plenty of momentum in this game. 68 run meters. Didn't have any tackle breaks or offloads. So maybe that could come into it. But 2 missed tackles is a lot better than what we come to expect from the back end of last year. He did defend much better, and that's great signs for Robson. And those looking to buy him next week, I would not push you away. 10% owned. Good stuff on his front. I think, here or there. If you don't want to get him, that's fine too. If you want to get Brandon Smith instead, they're going to be, 100k difference. So, yeah, that's that. Tommy Dearden, 51 for him. He scored a great try and looked better. Organised play much better, ran the footy well. Yeah, happy with him. Talangi as well, 50. Got a try assist, couple of line breaks, a try, so did awesome work there for his 50. He's someone that, if he can play like that regularly, then he's going to be a great asset and make some money. But there's a high chance that he doesn't do that regularly, especially if the Cowboys aren't as good. All right, we get into first one of my plays for the week in Hilam Luki. So 48 in 59 minutes. There was some chat in commentary as he was like, I think just before he walked off, he got subbed off the field, that they were working, Peyton was going to be working him up to an 80-minute role on the edge. Apparently he did say that in the pre-game, so that's good to know, I suppose, if you're looking at him. But Luki got a little bit lucky in this game, so that final play for him, he got that turnover tackle and then got the ball and then got tackled and offloaded. So 8 points in that one. 9, I think you count the tackle as well. And then got that lucky try, the try assist from Hammer. So thank you, Hamiso, for that one. So you take those out, and it's a 32, and I do worry that obviously without the odd tackle breaks and here, or the odd tries, line breaks, that he will be like a mid-30s guy. But the thing is with Luki that he has that tremendous upside, and there were times yesterday that he could have got close to getting through, and he's getting good run meters, like to play 59 minutes and get 146 run meters. It's very much the same as what we saw in that trial game, which is exactly what you want to see. So 48 for him, he starts making money now because he was priced, well in the mid-30s, right? So about 13 points over where he's priced. You'll make some cash. You'll have a sort of a 20s break even next week, which again, even if he was to get a 30s, he would make some money. But then there is that boom game somewhere in there as well. So, part of me thinks that he's going to score low against good teams, especially if he doesn't get any attacking stats with these minutes. But I suppose the upside that he has to score tries and the ability for him to get closer to the 80-minute mark. They subbed him twice, and he had a HIA, which I think was a free sub, is the way I'm going to call it, a free interchange, because he got hit in the chest. Wasn't happy with it. Apparently, you could see him like talking to whoever it was. I can't remember on the other side. And then they did sub him in the back end as well. But to be honest with you, if Luki was to go and get closer to sort of 70 or 80 minutes, right? Does that mean Tamalolo plays 10 minutes, not 20? Does that mean Cotter goes down as well? I don't know. There's lots to think about with that, and Todd Payton and his interchanges, that's for sure. Cotter got subbed off early as well. 51 minutes for him. I suppose you can put him given he's a little bit older, more experienced than some of the guys in this team, that he got subbed off a little bit early as well for his 41. But we'll I suppose we'll get into him now. 41 for Cotter. He's an option to trade if you need a mid-range guy. We'll just start with that. Just because this is the type of thing that is going to happen to him. He had 3 missed tackles really early. Thank goodness he tackled well outside of that. But he was trying to shot blokes. Like, he was trying to put hits on and rushing out of the line. And he got 2 missed tackles from that. He had an error early as well. All very frustrating things. The run meters were good, 120. He had 33 on the tackle side with a couple of tackle breaks. Good stuff when he runs the ball hard. But I do think that if he's going to play a lot of games in 50 and then some higher, then we will see more 40-point scores than we will see 50 plus, unless he's scoring tries. But they do have incredible edges. They do have incredible outside backs. That I think that's where a lot of their tries are going to come from. It's very hard to see Cotter going over for more than sort of 3 or 4 tries this year. So that's my worry with Ruben. And I suppose if you are making trades, if you do need to do a few things, if you left cash in the bank, then there are going to be guys in your team that you do need to target. And Cotter is one of them. I'm not sure if he's going to have that next level just because of the minutes, right? And if they are scoring a lot of tries in games, the base stats aren't going to be in there as much. Obviously, against some of the other teams like a Panthers or something like that, they might find it hard to score, and defensively he'll get some work. But the missed tackles at the start was a worry as well. So yeah, he was looking a bit more like Robson was at the back end of last year at the start than what we wanted it to be. So he's someone that I think he's an easy hold, but if you do need to look at him, it's probably him over Luki, just because Luki's making money. But I do see both of them having some low scores in them. That's for sure. Got away with it in this game, I think, 48-41, not too bad, but we wanted more. Drinky, 44. I think he got away with it in this game as well, given he had no attacking stats here at the front. 4 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, 2 to ground. Weren't great offloads, those ones, and 2 to hand. With a turnover tackle as well. Ran the footy plenty, kicked the ball as well. Got a forced dropout, so a bunch of things there for Drinky that were good. And I do think that is great signs for him when he does get those try assists, the tries from here, that what we're looking at in the trial game was that he had run meters and he looked for work in this game, which is awesome. So Drinky, someone to, if you didn't buy, someone to look at soon. If you did buy, you're not panicking. You're hoping for more, but you're not panicking. McIntyre, 44 and 47. So he's someone to look at 303k. He'll go up to about 320 odd. And I suppose, is McIntyre the guy that's going to get more minutes when Tamalolo or Cotter doesn't? At this stage, it looks like that's the case. McLean, obviously being a bit older, he gets less minutes as well, 33. You had Tamalolo 21 minutes, Cotter 51. McIntyre got 47 and worked really hard in through the middle in his time out there. So very, very impressed with what he provided for the Cows, I think. The work rate in that time when they had the ball a lot 128 run meters, 29 tackles with a couple of busts. Very, very impressive. If you do get him, just be aware that when they play a harder team or if it's a closer game, I think he'll be around that 30-minute mark and it could hurt you a bit. But I still think at 30 minutes, he's a 20-odd guy. And at that price, it's still making you a bit of money. With some games, he'll play higher than that. So something to look at, but not super exciting. Speaking about someone to look at, but not super exciting, Sean O'Sullivan, 43 for him, tackled his heart out, kicked his heart out, and that's all it's going to be. For him, there's a few times it was close to a try assist, I suppose, so could get you closer to the 50, but I do think he's got a tiniest bit of money to make. There will also be games, I think, where he gets into the 20s and 30, especially if Isaiah Katoa ends up next to him and does take a few of those kicks, right? And there may be games where he misses a few more tackles. He got 2 errors in this one, so expect the negatives to be probably similar to where it is right now with O'Sullivan. Not someone I'm looking at, but I know a couple of people do have him. Farnsworth, as everyone calls him. Farnworth. Herbie Farnworth. 38. He was well contained in this one. 171 run meters, 1 tackle break, 19 tackles for no misses. So just did his job, and that's about all we can say with him because, yeah, he was well contained by this Cows side. He'll lose a little bit of money, not too much, but he'll be fine. Other games he'll score tries and he'll kill it. But this is a good base to see from Herbie Farnworth. Hamaso Tabuai Fido, 38 for him with a line break with 7 tackle breaks, 170 run meters, 5 kick defusals. Fair bit happened for him in this game. A few bad things, that's for sure. A penalty, a couple of errors, and then a couple of decent things. Obviously, we know what he can do, the speed that he possesses. But yeah, if you had him at 38, you're not stressed about it, given like Karaz was the other option at that price, and you beat him by 3. So yeah, it's fine. But a buy in round 3, definitely look out for what you need to do in your centres and wing fullback for that, and go from there. Jordan McLean, 38, good work from him. Big run meters, 143. So as I said, there was speed in play, which was very helpful. Marshall King, 37, did come off with 6 minutes to go. They were getting smashed. There's no need to smash him anymore. Small run meters, 37 tackles, 4 misses, offload, tackle break. You can chalk this down to it being a drubbing, and they didn't need him to play anymore. But if you're going to see this against some of the better teams, then he's a worry at that. He was close to a try assist at one point, but you kind of are relying on that a little bit with him because he doesn't have the huge run meters. He has the try assist and he has the tackles, and missing 4 against this type of team. I think you can watch him next week, see what happens, and go from there. That's probably all I'll say on that one. So Nichols, Bromwich, and Max Plath, 43 minutes for Maxi. They did lose Lemuelu at before halftime, so probably the minutes of Plath could be a little bit up. So he came on when Lem went off, so it could be a little bit less for him. But we know he's a big work rate guy. Too expensive for us here in fantasy. I think he's bottom dollar in the 5/8 position in Supercoach. So fun one. All right, Townsend, Neem, solid. Tessie, 34, got that lovely try assist at the end to boost up his scoring, and picked up a line break as well. So 140 meters, good. That edge defensively wasn't great, given Laybutt absolutely burnt him. So keep an eye out on that. Obviously going to have to keep an eye out on who gets the back row edge spot, which we think it'll be you and Aitken, which will be fun. But a bye next week is in round 3 is kind of killer for these guys, that's for sure. Felty, 33, did pick up a try, should have got a second and tied Mango, but dropped it, what I meant. But yeah, got one. He's gonna have some fun on the outside of Laybutt, I think. But 205 run meters, 4 errors. Laybutt doing the work, given Felt some try assists, and then Drinky's gonna be the same. So it's a fun edge to be on that one for sure. Asako, people were saying in the game, did he even touch the ball? He had 162 run meters, so he definitely touched the ball, but he didn't get any good ball. That's for sure. And I think that Asako's going to lose a chunk of cash over the start of the year, and then he'll be right for the picking a little bit later. He had Bostock with 27, got that try at the end, so that bumped him up. Base stats are okay, like he had 8 tackles for no misses, which is really good, with 112 run meters, picked up sort of 30 or so at the end. Again, a game where you're getting smashed, it's not going to be too great, but you take the 27 and a few dollars of gain, and go from there. Nicarima as well, he just didn't really feature, unfortunately, just tackled Tamalolo with 20 in 21 minutes. Looked pretty good, but didn't need to play, and they put him in ice in this one early. Finne, 19 for him in 34 minutes. So he got some big minutes, but we know that he can be very, very poor on the PPM front, sadly. So that's where Kulukefe ended up with this one and ends up last year as well with his scoring. And then Lemuelu with 14 in his 37 minutes. So yeah, I think we're likely to get Aitken in on that edge, and we're not sure how long it's going to be. Physio put up it could be anywhere between sort of three to 6 weeks, or if there's a displacement as well or something sort of worse happening there, it could be like a 3-month thing with a big surgery. So let's find out that news a little bit closer, hopefully in the next few days. And Aitken is an interesting one because if he comes in this week, you get him for 1 week and then a bye. Do you just, get someone else in a different position first and then wait till round 4? It's potentially what I'm looking at. But you do know that when Aitken comes in, he will score well, especially against, I think they play the last game again next week. Could be against a slightly easier team, if I'm not mistaken. Dragons. Okay, I think it'll be a close game, which will be good. So it's all 2nd versus 17th, which is pretty fun. So that's that one, guys. Thanks for joining me for that. As I say, go back and check the other ones. It's very, very helpful. I look forward to getting into those round results video where I absolutely crushed it in fantasy. 50,000, baby. Let's go. See you guys.